Hello, how are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. I'm
Good.
very good, and I'm very excited to have this conversation today because I don't really know what it's about, which is exciting.
Surprising
So I
you.
know that, yeah, surprise. I'm going in blind today, which is really great. So I know there was something that you wanted to have a chat about, and you want to sort of explore potentially in this conversation. So enlighten me. What are we chatting about today?
Well, basically, I'm tapping into you to help me gain a bit of clarity, I think, because a little inner voice that was there last year has popped back to say hello. And I hope that in sharing this, it just kind of shows that when we do dig deeper into these voices, like that voice isn't always true, and it can really throw us off and kind of make us retreat into our safe space. And obviously we've been practicing a lot about taking action and doing all the things, and I'm determined to be like, hey voice, no thank you. This is not true.
So tell me then. So tell me about that voice and what's it currently saying to you, and how has it come about?
Okay, so it came about last year initially, where it was when I was starting to obviously get business ideas and starting to put the Authentic Girls Club into reality. It was the voice of, I've not been through enough to say what I want to say. And I wrote this down, which I wish I maybe hadn't. And a lot happened last year, and it was a very tough year, but I learned a lot and I grew a lot through it. And it's really just made me step into who I am and put myself out there in a different way. And I think the fear has just popped back up again to be like, oh my goodness, who am I to say these things? Like, have I been through enough to say these things? All things self-development, we all have our own journey, don't we? And it actually popped up last night when I was simply popping a post onto Instagram that was very vulnerable, very me. And yeah, it just got me.
Okay.
So where do we start on picking that one?
Where do we start? Let's dig deep. This is good. So I'd like to start actually just by that one word that you just said about vulnerability, being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think when we do open ourselves up to self-development, personal development, growth, exploring who we are, exploring those thoughts and those voices, the inner critic.
Yeah.
I think being okay with being vulnerable, as scary as that may seem, having that vulnerability is important to and part of our growth, because it's only when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable that we become more, I suppose, open and curious.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about that a little bit more. So what is it around sort of vulnerability that you're feeling right now? And that statement of, I've not been through enough to share what it is you want to share. Let's unpick that a little as well. So what is enough? What do you have to go through to share?
It almost literally, I feel like there is emotion bubbling up, because I'm like, I know that's not true. Like, I know it's not true. And I'm like, why can I not just give myself a bit of a break and actually step in to this person? I think and this is probably where I struggle a little bit in putting myself first, because I've been so busy in other people that actually, making sure everybody else is okay, that actually when it comes to me, I glaze over a little bit, which is obviously a strength mechanism, but also I wonder whether it's also hiding a little bit from the hard stuff, and I'm sorry.
Why if I ask a different kind of question, why do you feel, or it feels at the moment that you feel that you have to go through stuff to be able to share? What does that mean?
It's like
What is the stuff that you have to go through?
It's like I haven't earned my right to be to where I am. Or like haven't.
And who do you need to earn that right from?
Myself.
And why do you need to earn that?
That's a really interesting question.
What is it you need to prove to yourself that you've done, that you've been through? Do you have to have immense amounts of trauma to be able to help people feel better?
I know.
And think differently and share the magic that is inside of you that is coming from a deep, genuine place of wanting to serve because because you've gone through this growth journey.
Yeah.
In the past, we always say 12 months, but it's getting closer to 18 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you've been through this journey and you know what it's like when you start to work on yourself and you start to stop.
Yeah.
And you start to think, right, actually, what do I want? Let's just reorder this. Let's just reorder things for a moment and let's not put myself at the bottom. How's about pop myself at the top and I take a moment to think, what is it I need? And you've done that and you've gone through and are going through, because this is a lifelong journey of this personal growth and this development. And you've experienced how much better things can be. Yeah. And that is what you're sharing and want to share. Yeah. And it's interesting. Yeah. That you feel that I needed and excuse me if I'm using the wrong word here, like a validation. Yeah. That you can share. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlotte, but can you just have a little bit more trauma, please? Yeah. Before you share all this goodness. Yeah.
And that's it. Where is that ever going to, like you say, where is that ever going to get to the point where I actually go, no, this is okay? And I think that's what I'm slowly coming to realisation with, because I think I've struggled to kind of show up as myself in that way, because I hit this like, yes, I'm going to do this. Like I am, like I have genuinely been through a tough old year and I've grown through it. And like, I am really, really proud of that. And I can finally say I am proud of myself for that. Now, it's like the next phase that I just keep struggling to like go, keep going. keep. Sorry.
I have a question.
Yes, please do, because I'm struggling with my words.
Is it a feeling of, because we've spoke recently about comfort zones, haven't we? Mm-hmm. And obviously prior to everything that's happened and prior to your growth, you were in a comfort zone. Yeah. And then you've pushed it and you've stepped out of it. Perhaps maybe are you in your next new comfort zone? Yeah. And this next step is, that toe's just poking out a little bit.
Oh,
and
that is so true.
But that's when our comfort zone becomes our comfort zone. It's, in my opinion, it's something we're continually always going to push. I'll be in a comfort zone for a period of time. Yeah. A period of time that is right for me at that time in my life, at that chapter in my life, at that part of my journey in life. And then I will pop my toe out again and then I will jump 2 feet. And it will become my new comfort zone for however long. And then I'll step again. Because that's what growth is, isn't it? Yeah. And it's okay. And I think this is the vulnerability side, I think, which is so beautiful. Sharing this so openly and so honestly, because it's not a one and done thing. It's not. And I know it feels like I'm repeating myself here on previous podcasts, but we really advocate this, don't we? That it's not a quick fix. It's not a let's do self-development. Oh, I've done that work, but fantastic.
Yeah.
There I go.
Tick done.
It's look, these things are this inner voice, this, whether it's doubt, whatever it may be, that's reared its head again. It's there for a reason, and it's really digging deep and unfolding that and thinking, well, what is the message behind this?
I generally feel like it is the universe being like, for goodness sake, Charlotte, can you just own yourself now and just carry on? Like, and I think it is, and that is where I know I've come a long way, because I would have listened to this voice a few years ago, and I would have, it tells me all kind of things. It's like, no one wants to hear what you've got to say, Charlotte. Like, they really don't. They don't want to hear it. Like, they're bored of you now. Carry on. Like, And then I got lost, you see, because it's removed that. And I think because this year has been so different and so unexpected, it's been awful, but it's also been great because I've grown. It's, I suppose, plateauing now to being, this really does feel like my chance to step into the person who I'm meant to be. And I think probably the emotion underneath it is because I realise how much over time, like, I've labelled my life as just being a lucky life. Like, I've, up until last year, but the reality is I have had hard times, but I've never let myself deal with those, I don't think. I think I've just ran on from them, kept going, and maybe this has hit this point now because it's telling me, Charlotte, you've had your fair share. Well, not that there is a fair share, but you've had your stuff. You've probably not healed from those things the way that you would now, but yeah,
and it's remembering. Excuse me, sorry. It's remembering everyone's stuff is their own stuff.
Yeah,
and it's all on different levels. Sorry, and yeah, like what might be big to me might be small to somebody else, or vice versa. It's all our own stuff, and there's no scale of how much you have to go through to share. And if maybe we could shift for a moment in terms of, what if you didn't do this? What if you allowed today, after this podcast, after this recording, this to stop you? Mm-hmm. We don't upload this podcast. We don't shout about this podcast.
Yeah,
and you tap into that inner voice that's keeping you comfortable right now. Flip it and shift it and think, who, not only yourself are you denying of this amazing good stuff, but how many more amazing women are you denying of the support and the encouragement and the community and the relatability and the magic and the growth that just by speaking up and owning your voice, because it's your voice and you're totally entitled to it, who are you? This is such good stuff that you have created and are doing. So maybe shifting it in that perspective, that if you don't do it,
that's really interesting, isn't it? Because it instantly makes me go, oh no.
And you're taking away so much from yourself and so many other wonderful women that will absolutely benefit and value from every single thing that you put out there, because it's coming, like, again, I say, from a deep, genuine place of wanting to serve and help others. And that has a knock-on effect. That has a huge domino effect. It really does. And if I may, I just want to quickly touch on a few words that you said that I think we can all relate to. Who am I to do this? I don't know enough. I'm not skilled enough. What will people think? And I had those exact same feelings when we spoke about doing a podcast. And I remember writing down a document. Well, I journaled out all the reasons why I wanted to do a podcast. And all the things that were coming up for me about, will people laugh? Will people think I'm silly? Oh, Kat, little old Kat Houghton. Who is she to do a pod? Who does she think she is? And it's like, and then I just explored that and I dug deep and I shared this with you. I remember saying that it's not just about the podcast. This is a part of a bigger picture, just genuine, just generally, speaking up and sharing my journey over the last 15 years since kind of being open to
Yeah.
secret club of self-development, I shied away from it. I was almost apologetic. I almost felt a bit like silly and embarrassed to share all the stuff I've been doing for the last 15 years. And that does hurt a little bit now to think that I'm shy. I definitely have spoke up, but not so direct as I am now. So sorry, going back to that sort of feelings of, you know, who am I to do this? I wrote down, if I don't do this, I will regret not sharing what I've learned and putting out what I've done for Betsy and Nancy, for my 2 little girls. And if I just do it just for them, so they've got a resource to tap into. So if I'm not here at any point, that they can look back and they can, hopefully, they might listen to me by then, get a few words of wisdom and be like, oh, that's, good point there, Mom.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was my, like, for God's sake, Kat, just get out your own way and do it, because it's not about you.
Yes.
It's not about me.
No.
It's about my legacy, and it's about that day when I'm on my deathbed, not having that regret, and doing it for my girls and doing it for everybody else out there that I know this will have a huge positive impact on.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, I know. And that is exactly it, isn't it? Like, anything in life, why not? Like, we've got to just push through that fear in whatever way we can, dig deeper and just go for it. And we will get to these stumbling blocks. And I think obviously this was another one for me, where last night I really wanted to share something, but that fear, and it's I think it's good fear in a way that I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. But then I think knowing that there's underneath things, it's really interesting to be like, come on now, Charlotte, like, you're okay. You really are okay. Yeah. Your life is your life. We all have different lives, don't we? And we've just got to be easier on ourselves. And I think it does come back to that, just how tough I've probably been on myself over the years, to just be like, get up and get on with it, Charlotte. Like, and I don't know, I think showing myself love has been great, but it's also come with that sadness of like, wow, I've not done this very much at all. And if we don't show ourselves our own love, like, that's just mad, isn't it? Like, that's so cruel. Like, to the little inner child, like, inside of us that, just wants us to be us.
When we don't honour who we are. And I think, you know, this voice that reared up last night, it's there for a reason, isn't it? It's there because you know you're on to another breakthrough, you know you're on to another comfort zone push, and it's there to tell you, come on, let's explore this. Let's explore this, but knowing that you can explore it through the things that we do, you know, in the club and through coaching. You can explore it and you can push through, but also knowing that this is normal. It's normal part of growth, and it's part of the journey. And there's I think profound growth on the other side of this.
And I hope that in sharing this, I know it wasn't overly clear from me, and I think I will continue. And this is where obviously we're big advocates for journaling, aren't we? And really just going deeper. And I think I'll go away and just process that and be like, Charlotte, you've been through enough. You could say these things. You can be nice to people and help people and do the things that you want to do. Stop holding yourself back. And kind of just and heal those parts that maybe just need me to literally just acknowledge them from my past and just say, you're okay. You are okay. And so to anyone who is listening who has that, we all have an inner voice, don't we, who is a little bit mean. Please be kind to yourself, and please know that she doesn't always tell the truth, but she is just trying to protect you in some way. And we've got to just show her a new way of that, haven't we? And it's just we can easily get lost over time. And I think this is the whole sense of unbecoming, isn't it? And peeling back those layers and letting that authentic self out.
That's it. You've shown up today authentically as yourself, and we've had a real conversation.
Yeah.
And there's the magic, because like you say, you can go away now and do some journaling and go a bit deeper. And obviously in the club we have monthly journaling sessions, which is such a great opportunity to explore things like this, to see what those blocks are that are stopping us, and find a way forward so we can take that next small step, that next piece of action.
Yeah.
In a super supportive community.
Yeah.
With a whole host of cheerleading women to lift us up and encourage us and empower us. So thank you so much for sharing that today.
No, thank you.
I love these unknown chats.
I
These
know.
are cool.
Many more to come.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. Really great. So thank you for watching and listening.
Yes.
And,
yes, thank you everybody. And we hope this helps, and please do reach out to us if you ever have any questions or any thoughts, or also any feedback. We would really appreciate any feedback that you can give us. So thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye. See you next time.
See you next time.